guys, Bryson Taylor here. Welcome back to the channel. So very recently, a big scandal has come out in the music world of a band called the Velvet Sundown. And whether they are real or not, and it's been suggested and kind of found out that this band is not real. They are completely AI. Now, Rick Beato, if you're familiar with his channel, I'm a big fan of his channel, has a great music channel, has a video on this, kind of an in-depth, kind of goes to their music and kind of shows you how it is, AI-generated music, how it's not really a real person or real people playing the music. Highly recommend going to check out his video, and I'm not trying to piggyback off his video. I just kind of want to make my own and share my own thoughts on it because I think it's a very interesting topic in the world of music right now. So this fictitious band has a couple 100,000 followers or monthly listeners on Spotify and a couple other streaming platforms. So clearly people are into this band and their music, which is even more peculiar because it's AI. Now, I'm not one of those people who's anti-AI by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know a lot about it myself or, much of how to use it. I've used it a couple times on Google for a couple, odds and ends of things, but I don't know a lot about it. So I'm not going to stand here and preach to you on AI and, why it's terrible. I don't really know a lot about it. However, I do know that I'm very, very skeptical and a little nervous or unnerved, I don't know which is the word I'm looking for, about it being used to create music. That kind of scares me a little bit because as a musician who's trying to pursue music as a lifestyle and career choice, you already have enough competition as it is because it's a very, very hard field to get into, to pursue, and to now think you have to compete against, a computer or AI is very, very, very strange feeling. It's strange in the fact that you have to compete with somebody who's not real. And I think that's what's weird to me about it, is that you're competing with a machine in a way. It almost feels like Terminator a little bit. Terrible comparison, but it's just a very strange feeling to have to compete with computer-generated music, something that somebody did not sit down, take the time to write and structure out, make the melody, make the chords, the harmonies, the production, the everything. Because in my opinion, a song, or a piece starts in the mind. It starts as a idea, starts as a melody, it starts as a chord progression. And, that's how a song is composed. There's building blocks that build the song. But to think that AI is now being used to create contemporary music that people are listening to, because I know there's some AI channels where they create stupid country songs or just the most ridiculous songs you've ever heard, or what country music sounds like to AI. People have generated AI songs with that. I've heard those, and those are kind of funny. But to think that AI is now generating music and trying to get people to listen to it, or, whoever's behind the structure of the AI that's creating this music, they're trying to get people to listen to it is very, very, very weird. But it kind of makes you question the state of where the music industry is at now that bands, fictitious bands, AI-generated bands are getting, this much attention and this many followers. It kind of makes you wonder what the future looks like as a musician yourself. I mean, you can't help but wonder, what does the future look like for a regular musician, a real person, real musician that has to compete with thousands and thousands of other musicians, in the world of music to try to, make themselves a success and make themselves a career out of it. But now they have to compete against a machine and compete against AI. It's very, very weird. But in my personal opinion, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm kind of anti this in a way. I don't like to think that AI or people are using AI to create music, contemporary music that people want to listen to. I don't care that, people use it to create, stupid songs or like parodies and stuff like that. That doesn't bother me because, some of them are funny, but the application of it to me, I don't like the application of it being used to create contemporary music that, somebody's sitting behind a desk telling AI to write, a song that somebody's going to want to listen to. I think that's very, very weird to think that a fictitious thing, machine, computer, whatever you want to call it, AI, I think it's very weird to think that that is trying to perceive human emotion and what you feel when you listen to a song, and trying to replicate that in a song that it's about to create that it wants you to listen to. I find that very, very strange. Again, it makes you wonder what the state of music's going to look like in a couple years if people are just going to start using AI, and there's just going to be all these AI artists and bands and all these fictitious, not real groups out there. It really makes you wonder what's going to happen with music. But my 2 cents, I just kind of wanted to make a video on it because I feel like it's a very interesting topic that's kind of coming up in the music world right now. So I'm going to go ahead and say I'm very anti AI, people using AI to make contemporary music that people want to listen to. I don't like it. It kind of scares me a little bit, and I think it's very weird. But thank you for coming to my TED Talk on why I don't think AI should be making contemporary music. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day.